Hey, everybody. It's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie. And today we are going to be creating in our junk journal. And this is my Woman Overboard junk journal. And it is getting so full. So if you love videos like this one, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification button so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. And if you would like to see this video in real time, you can head over to the Patreon channel, which is patreon.com/Liz for a day. And there I am doing live videos of me working in my junk journal, art journaling, planning, and anything that kind of hits my creative fancy. So on to this particular session. Now, I did like these little cards where they're printouts of some movie marquees, and I did some sewing and put a little fabric on those. So if you want to see all of them that I did, you can head to the last processing video and you can see those. And so I'm just looking for a spot to kind of put these in. Now, if you've been watching the processing videos here, you know that I usually kind of just go through the pages and try to find something, a place to put things at. And I also take out from my stash like a big notebook or folder with lots of things that I've been saving. So a great tip, if you find that it's hard to figure out what you're going to put inside of your junk journal, a great tip would be to just start saving things. So as you save them, just put them in one spot. And then when you're ready to junk journal, you can pull those out and then you're all ready to go like I was today. So I finally found a spot where I wanted to put these marquees in, and I really had fun printing them out. I have a really good printer and the colors were just on point and I loved it. But I still wanted this page to have a little bit more oomph. So I took out some washi tape. Now, y'all, I have to say, I live in Florida and I don't know how I feel about the flamingos. Because it's like all flamingos down here. That should be the state bird. I don't even know what the state bird is here, and I've been here for a while. That's a shame, isn't it? But you see flamingos everywhere, but they're starting to grow on me. I'm starting to like flamingos. So I had this fancy washi tape with the flamingos on it, so I decided to use it. And I did put some glue under it. I think it would have stuck okay, but I just wanted to make sure. And then I took this vintage Yahtzee sheet that I have, and these actually come in a game pack. It's a game ephemera pack that I sell over at pleasantcreations.com, so you can check that out. And I decided to take some out that had some writing on it. Because usually the ones that I put in the packs, they don't have any writing on it, but I could not throw this piece away, so I wanted to keep it. And I decided to kind of cut it up into journaling spots, because y'all know I'm always looking for a journaling opportunity. Because I not only stick photos in my books, I record memories as well, and sometimes I just do a little bit of journaling. So that's what my intention is with this particular page. So I wanted to round the corners on these to give it a little bit of a more prettier look per se. So that's what I did, and I'm really liking the way this page is developing, I have to say. And I do love the music page as a background, but it always feels like it needs just a little more to it. And so that's just what I did. And you'll see in a moment I'm going to do just a little bit more to that background so that everything kind of pops out. So now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move things around on my desk because y'all know it's like a crazy ecosystem on this desk. I decided to use some Tim Holtz vintage photo on here as well. And let me mention that if you go into the description, you'll also see links to some of the products that I'm using here. So if you're looking for something specific that you see here, it will probably be in the description below. So I'm just going to go around all these little pieces just to kind of give it a bit of a frame. That's what how I feel about using the vintage photo around it. I'm not trying to per se make the pieces grungy or anything like that or vintagey looking. I just want to give it kind of a frame so it kind of stands out just a bit. So I took out my Sharpie Ultra Fine tips because these are the pens that I like to use the most within my journal. And one reason is because there's just like a ton of colors. And so I can just pick a different color and not always be kind of confined to just using black. So now I've glued everything down. I did use some double stick tape to put down the images because they are printed on cardstock and I wanted to make sure that they stayed. And then I wanted to use some more of that lovely flamingo washi tape. But the spot where I wanted to put it at, that tape was just a little bit too wide. So what I decided to do was kind of creatively rip it down the center. And then I put some glue on the page as well. I'm just using the regular old Elmer's purple school glue. And I just make sure I put enough on there where everything will stick just fine. And I really like the way that looks. So then I went around the whole page because something about that music paper, it just seems like the edges need a little bit more of a frame again. I love to say more of a frame. And then I decided to use one more little extra piece from that Yahtzee score pad and put that in here because the page just didn't look finished, y'all. It looked like it needed just a little bit more. So this was the little bit more that kind of took it over the edge to being kind of a completed layout for me. And keep in mind, I don't always do layouts, but today it kind of worked out that way. So then I was looking at the other side and it was just like a big white space there. And in my journal, nothing stays a big white space for long. So I decided to do a spot of collaging because I had took more pages out that I thought they would look good together, but not so much look good together, but I wanted to use those pieces. So I took out some Atlas paper, which I also provide over at pleasantcreations.com. And if you don't have any, I love using Atlas paper. The colors are just so beautiful, and it's just something about looking at a map. Even though it might not be for your area, I don't know. It's just something about maps. It just makes you feel, I don't want to say worldly, because I don't feel worldly. But I also decided to use some more of, this is that same Yahtzee score sheet. A little goes a long way. So I was able to use it on both sides of the layout. Essentially almost 3 pages. And I wanted to keep the extra piece that went over the edge, so I just folded it over to the back, and that worked out well for me. And then I put this parking permit in here, and yes, that is actually a parking permit that I had from someplace, and I just like the colors and I like the different looks of it. So, again, this is where trash meets creativeness meets treasure. And I thought it looked really, really good in this book. So I was going to use a different type of glue with this, but I found that the stick glue worked just fine for this application for sure. So now again, I'm going around the edges, this time with some blue distressed ink, and I love the way that came out. Now don't worry, I'm going to show some photos at the end so you can see how everything came out. Also, it will be posted over on the Patreon channel as well, so you can check that out. Now I had these notes that were kind of just laying around, and I wanted to make sure that they got inside the book as well. So again, I'm using my creativeness to try to zhuzh up the notes before I stick them into some pockets. And I know this was a really quick, and again, if you want to see the real-time version of this, you can head over to the Patreon channel at patreon.com/Liz4a day. And I would love to know, what is your favorite part of this layout? I love the photos with the sewing around it. What about you? So, with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease. From your sweet and lovable Lotus Blossom Lizzie, have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.